Cantre'r Gwaelod, the Welsh Atlantis, by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. One area of interest within Theosophy is the study of myth and legend, and the ways in which these stories can help us better understand ourselves and the world around us. At the heart of Theosophical teachings is the idea that all things are interconnected and that there are deeper spiritual truths at work in the universe. In many ways, myth and legend can be seen as attempts to capture and convey these truths in a way that is accessible to the human mind. From ancient creation myths to more recent folk tales and fairy tales, these stories often contain rich symbolism and imagery that speaks to us on a deep, intuitive level. Cantre'r Gwaelod, also known as the Sunken Hundred, the Lowland Hundred, or Maes Gwyddno, the Plain of Gwyddno, is a legendary Welsh kingdom that is said to have been submerged beneath Cardiff Bay. It is often referred to as the Welsh Atlantis, although this title is sometimes given to Tino Gaeleg, a legendary sunken land said to be to the west of the Great Orme on the North Wales coast. Cantre'r Gwaelod is the subject of a poem by Welsh Theosophical poet Kenneth Venor Morris. The story of Cantre'r Gwaelod has been passed down through generations in Wales, but there is debate among historians over whether the story is based in truth or simply myth. According to legend, Cantre'r Gwaelod was a prosperous and fertile kingdom that covered a large area of land which is now under the sea. It was said to be situated between Ramsay Island and Bardsey Island in what is now Cardiff Bay to the west of Wales. The low-lying kingdom was said to be protected by strong sea defences with sluice gates that kept the sea at bay. However, one night, while everyone was celebrating a royal wedding, the gatekeeper, Saith Enin, got drunk and forgot to close the gates, leading to a disastrous flood that submerged the kingdom and killed many of its inhabitants. In another version, the land was lost to floods when a well maiden named Meredith neglected her duties and allowed the well to overflow. These stories could only refer to a small area of land, but they may represent the final days and demise of a once much larger kingdom. The title 100 indicates an area of 100 square miles or 64,000 acres. In comparison, the island of Anglesey is 276 square miles or 176,640 acres. It is also said that the church bells of Cantre'r Gwaelod are said to ring out in times of danger. This may represent the fear of the sea encroaching on land. Kenneth Venor Morris's poem says that Gwyddno's minstrels can be heard playing and singing. This may represent the folk memory of a lost community. Some historians argue that Cantre'r Gwaelod was a real kingdom that was flooded over time as sea levels rose progressively at the end of the Ice Age, but there is little concrete evidence to support this theory. Others suggest that the story was created to explain the natural phenomena of the submerged forests in Cardiff Bay, which are sometimes visible during low tide. This would put the date of Cantre'r Gwaelod several thousand years back in prehistory, although a small portion of land could have survived into the early Celtic era, circa 700 BC, hence the legend of a kingdom consisting of a low-lying area of land protected by sea defences. The legend may be a folk memory of the gradually rising sea levels at the end of the Ice Age. The physical remains of the preserved sunken forests at Borth and of Sarn Badrig nearby could have suggested that some great tragedy had overcome a community there in the distant past, and so given rise to the legend. Only visible at low tide, Sarn Badrig is a shingle causeway left by glacial deposits from the retreating glaciers at the end of the Ice Age, extending about 12 miles into Cardiff Bay, and is believed by some to have been part of the sea defences of Cantre'r Gwaelod. Despite the lack of evidence, the story of Cantre'r Gwaelod has become an important part of Welsh folklore and identity. It has been retold in various forms, including poetry, plays and songs, and has inspired many artists and writers. The story also carries a powerful message about the dangers of neglect and the importance of taking responsibility for one's actions. The legend of Cantre'r Gwaelod has also been subject to various interpretations and analyses. Some scholars have argued that it represents a warning about the consequences of failing to respect the power of nature, while others have suggested that it reflects broader themes of decay and decline. In conclusion, the story of Cantre'r Gwaelod is a fascinating and enduring legend that has captured the imaginations of generations of Welsh people. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the story has become an important part of Welsh identity and folklore and continues to inspire new interpretations and analyses. Whether based on truth or simply myth, Cantre'r Gwaelod remains a powerful symbol of the dangers of neglect and the importance of taking responsibility for our actions.